Maurice, Deasy, farming with my dad in North Tipperary, tillage and sheep. And what we're shifting towards is trying to care, well, farmers have always tried to care for the soil. And the importance of soil is about what this talk is about, because the soil is the skin of the earth. And basically, how do we get to this point? For me, it's about the cheap food policy. We set out policy to create cheap food. Talked to my mother-in-law, how much was a weekly shop 50 years ago compared to now? How much was the price of a ton of grain 50, 70 years ago compared to now? The price of grain hasn't moved. What has that created? Less people, larger machines, more risk for farmers, more and more risk. We've already bought our inputs for next year, basically, 12 months out, basically, and a smaller return. And all of that led to my dad, from the age of 5, turning around to me saying, I want to be a farmer. He said, yes, Maurice, great idea, go get a qualification. Because the writing's on the wall. That's the direction we're going, and off we go. So what does that mean? Less rotation, less market outlets, lower soil carbon. Our soil carbon has kept reducing, and that's kind of led me down this road. More compaction, less soil health, and more specialization, less mixed farming. However, successes. What's the good news story? We can do awesome things like cover crops, which a neighbour came up to me. He's like, Maurice, are you growing a field of flowers? What are you doing? I was like, no, it's a cover crop. We're trying to look after the carbon. We're trying to look after the soil. Feeding, that's a 12-way mix of species, and it's all part of converting to conservation agriculture. What are the 3 pillars? Cover crops, crop rotation, reduced tillage. Less ploughing. My dad is sad about that. I'm delighted, though. What's in there? Bees, pollinators, all sorts of positive things. Like, it's amazing what that cover crop does. We spend less on diesel ploughing and tilling, basically. We can do so much good stuff. Crop rotation, we're trying to get away from being small numbers of crop to get more pain in the butt, basically. Now we've got different piles of crops and legumes and all this other stuff, but it's all doing great things for the soil. It's all reducing our costs, improving soil health, improving soil carbon. It's going to hit the bank balance. It has hit it this year. And like, even the risk of it, like, we've one chance of a harvest every year. And basically, after the spring crops, price of diesel, everything, we did a lot more minimum tillage, planted everything, great, brilliant story. My dad's like, turned around to me, he's like, I hope to God this works. I was like, I feckin' hope so too. You know, because if I feck that up, we'd have been going back out there and redoing everything. And like, yeah. Anyway, the grain came up, came a crop, we lost a bit of money on some things, learned some things, right, that's grand. What do cover crops do, though? Carbon cycle, carbon sequestration, carbon in our soil. It's a cycle. Those cover crops are solar panels. They're capturing sunlight, pumping exudates down into the soil, doing great things. We've got our water cycle, capturing water, infiltrating into the soil, slowing it, getting into the rivers, and causing flooding downstream. And our nitrogen cycle. What are the cool things we can do in the future? Intercropping. I want to do it this year. Not sure if my dad will let me. We'll see. It'll be a debate. Because why? We'll get the same yield and have 2 crops and have to separate it. But I'm like, yeah, but we can do much better things for the soil. And this is a journey. It's going to take us 5 to 10 years to get our soil carbon up. No reward in the intermediate time, but I believe in it. I think it's a way to go. We can do companion cropping. I have done it this year. Again, a little bit of learning might have caused a problem, but anyway, could be a failure. Living mulch. Once we stop ploughing, we can have a living mulch underneath the ground. We can have clover underneath our crop. It's amazing stuff. We can now move away from planting a single species of barley, plant mixtures, multiple varieties of the same things, improve disease resistance. We can go to populations, have started sowing them, and we can have adapted seeds to our climate. And farmers teaching farmers. I learned that from other farmers. Not from the powers that be, not from the lads selling us fertilizer and inputs. All of this is reducing the amount of money we give those big companies. They're not selling us. They're saying, Maurice, you're mad. And I'm like, yeah. That's because I'm going to buy less stuff off you. And I'm delighted about that. Soil, agroecology. We can do an awful lot of great things. That's a little snippet of it. Land sharing versus land sparing. Yes, land sparing is important to have wild spaces. But by land sharing, those bees are freaking delighted about the flowers. We can do a lot of cool stuff. We can have multi-species, we can have flowering things in our grasslands. Not grasslands, pastures. We don't want monocultures of grass. We want diversity. Same of our tillage crops. One crop, great, monoculture, but let's have diversity. Let's feed lots of things. We can create a crop and look after diversity, the same thing. And that'll improve our nutrient density of our food. We can have, if Only way we'll get paid for that is if we have a short supply chain. The big boys don't care. We buy seeds off one of 4 seed companies in the world. We supply that malting barley to the largest malting company in the world, who sells it to the 4th largest brewery in the world. That ain't going to do anything, basically. What are the solutions? Biochar, composting, anaerobic digestion. Those are awesome things. Because do you know what we do? If we've good soil health, that gives a healthy plant. Healthy plants, healthy animals. Healthy animals, healthy humans. And that's what it gives. The little video should play, but that's basically a microscope. There's so much diversity in the soil. A teaspoon of soil has the same population of microbes as humans in the world. We can do so much in our soil. Soil, plants, all the way up.
Well done, Maurice. That was such an injection of positivity and creativity. Thank you for starting that. Oh, the video is now playing.
That's bacteria. We think of soil as dirt. 20 seconds. That's bacteria. Look at them vibrating. Our soil is not dirt. It's microbiology. Microbiology feeds a plant, not chemicals.